Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Winnie Bush and this is Winning with Winnie. Alright y'all, who's as excited as I am? Okay, probably nobody. Okay, let me turn it down. Turn it all the way down. Alright y'all, so in this channel I share a lot about my journey as an international student from Nigeria all the way to the United States of America, and also I talk to you guys a little bit about my travels and food and just all the things that make me me. But in today's video we will be talking about my US student visa interview experience. So if you're ready, I am. Let's do this. So as always, I have my iPad because there's so much and I didn't want to miss any details at all. So I wanted to first start off by sharing my visa experience. So my interview was super early in the morning. Okay, let's go back. So let me give you all the timeline. So this was in 2013. I had just graduated from high school, from secondary school, for those who are from Nigeria. So secondary school, high school for Americans. So I had just graduated and I was like, okay, what's next? And my aunt was like, you should come to the United States of America and come, because my aunt was a campus president at Wayne County Community College, and she was like, you should come here. So I was like, America? Me? Yes, 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 yes. So that's how my journey basically started. So once my aunt, once my aunt had told me, blah, blah, blah. And at that time I had written, so I went through the whole process. So I wrote to WIAC, I wrote to JAM, I even wrote post-JAM for like a couple universities. So I did like University of Port Harcourt. There was another school I did, University of Nigeria in Nsukka. So I think those were the two schools. So I got admission into University of Port Harcourt. The funny thing is I even paid, like I already paid my like housing fee. I found out who my roommate was, and then I was like, oh my gosh. And then my American visa, everything went through. So I was like, oh, okay, I had to abandon that. But anyway, so let's talk about the interview process. So like I said, my interview was super early in the morning. I got there like around 7:30. I think that my interview was at 9, but I wanted to be early. I did not, there was no African time that day for me. And if you know me, you know I'm always late. But this day I was not late, so I was super early. So me and my dad, we got there at 7:30. I went with my dad because first of all, I was 16, but also my dad was applying for a visiting visa because he was planning to come to the US to drop me off basically. So I also, y'all, I was super nervous like the night before. Bro, even the day, I was super nervous. I could not sleep that night, like the night before, because I was just, I don't know, I was super anxious about what was happening. Anyway, so after, got there 7:30, you go through the gate. They didn't let me take my phone inside. They didn't let me take anything except like the folders and the papers that I needed, like the documentation. So I had to keep my phone, all my electronics, even my watch. I had to keep the watch, like electronic watches. I had to keep out. So I got there, passed through the gate. So after skipping up my stuff, passed through the gate, and then you have to do fingerprinting, a thumb printing. I don't know what they call it anymore, but I had to get my thumb like scanned and stuff. So they did the fingerprinting, and then I now had to wait in a different queue. Yo, the queue was so long. I am also like super appreciative that like I was there with my dad, because let me tell you guys, I would have passed out. Like it was just so stressful. So I got in line. Well, it was super long. We stayed there. I was there for like at least an hour before it was now my turn. Actually, there were two people in front of me. Like the two people in front of me like got rejected. So I was like, oh my gosh. And it's like you are so close to people that you can hear everything. Like you can hear the questions. Like the consular officer is asking them. And I was like, okay, well, every time they ask somebody a question, I would think about it. I'm like, okay, let me see. If they ask me this, what is my answer going to be? Like I was prepared. But anyways, the two people in front of me, like the two that I could see and hear, like they both got rejected. So I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh, it's not going to happen. Like my heart just like sank. I was like, oh, this is it. It's not going to happen for me. Let me just start going. Anyways, we were already there. So I went through my interview, and then in the interview, it was so interesting because I was only asked 3 questions compared to the other people. They asked them a ton of questions. So the first question that they asked me was, why did I choose this college? Like, why did I choose? Because it was a community college. So they asked me, why did you choose this community college? They also asked me like where I'll be living and who I'll be living with, because I told them like I wasn't going to be like living on campus because my community college did not have on-campus housing. So they asked where I would be living, and then I told them. And then the last question they asked me is, do you plan to return to your home country after completing my studies? And I was like, yes, but you know. I don't even remember the answers because, you guys, it's been over 7 years. I don't remember the exact answers I gave them, but these questions I was like, yeah, I have to remember these ones. So anyways, so that was just how the interview went. So after they asked me the 3 questions, I answered. They asked my dad question about his travel plans. He answered. They were like, you've been approved. And they said they kept my passport, and they said I'll have to come pick it up in like, I think they did 3 days or a week, I don't even remember. It was like within 3, it didn't take long for them to get it, for me to come pick up the passport. So that was it. Like, it was so smooth, like after the interview, and I was just like stressing. I was like, this day I could not even sleep last night though. Look at me. Anyway, so that's how my interview went, and those were the 3 questions that they asked me. So I was also going to add, so I had now come to the US, so I did the 2 years in community college, and then I now transferred over to a university, Jackson State University. So after I transferred, I now went home for one of that Christmas. So one of that Christmas, my student visa expired, so I had to go back and renew. So I now had to go through this process all over again, because typically I think they said you could just mail your passport and they would renew it, but like you couldn't anymore. I think President Trump had changed that rule. So anyways, I had to now go back into, like, I had to go and re-interview again for the whole, to get like my visa, like a new student visa. So when I went like this time to renew, like it was the same forms that I took, but this time I took the admission letter from the university. I also was on scholarship, so I took the scholarship letter as well. They just asked me like about how my experience was at the university. Did I love it? I was like, yes, I loved it. And they were like, approved. Like, they told me to come and pick it up again. So it wasn't, it didn't feel as intense as the first time I did it, because I think I knew what to expect. I had done it before. I was much more like comfortable, and also I think I was like almost in my I think it was like I was in my last year, or I had 1 more year. So I told myself, they won't turn me down now before I complete my studies. So it's like, I don't know, I felt much more prepared for it the second time when I was renewing than when I first got it. So I also wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about some of the forms that I took, but also please check your country's US embassy to make sure that you need to bring these forms. But these were the ones that I remember taking, and the forms probably might have changed, but to my knowledge they haven't. So the first form I took was the I-20 form. So the form I-20 was given to me by the college, so the community college I was going to. So after I had completed their whole process, given them like the affidavit of financial support, they provided me with the I-20. So the I-20 was one of the forms that I took. Another form that I took was the CVIS. Like, I took my payment receipts from CVIS. So there's a fee that you have to pay for CVIS. And then I took that form. So after I paid it online, I took the receipt form also. I also took a DS 160 was the other form that I did. Like I said, like your country's embassy is going to tell you like what you need to bring with you. So I took the DS-16, and then I also took my passport. I needed 2 passport photographs, so I went there and I took 2 of that. Also, the thing is, so I did my interview in Abuja, Nigeria. So there were even people outside that before you even go in, like people outside the gate, that they'll try to help you kind of put your forms together. And also, if you don't have picture like a passport photo, they'll help you take it out there. But don't rely on that. I would say try to gather your things before you even go to the embassy. But this is just another option. So I took my passport, a passport photograph, and then also a bank statement. So these were some of the forms that I took with me during my interview process. All right, y'all. So the other things I wanted to mention was just some reasons why some people that I know have been denied, because I have friends that have like applied to come to the US like 2 or 3 times, like they did not even get approved to their 3rd time or to their 4th time. So these are some of the reasons that people get denied. The first reason is lack of financial proof to support yourself. So typically they have like I think it's called, like, you need like bank statements showing, like, so some schools will do like 14,000 or 20,000 or 40,000 for a year. So you need a bank statement that says that you have that much money in an account. So that's the first reason people get denied. It's just like they don't have financial proof. The second one is like you're missing a form or you have an incorrect document. So like I said, always make sure that you're checking that embassy's website to make sure that you have the exact document. And even if you do that and you still, like, if it's wrong when you go out, like I told you in Abuja, there's like people outside there, they'll tell you the exact document. So just listen and get, do it. Also be on time, like be on time, because that way if you're missing something, those people let you know, and then you can now start putting it together. The third reason is like the lack of, like, if you have lack of proof that you intend to return to your country. So on F1 visa, you kind of have to prove that you have ties to your country, that when you finish your studies, you're going to go back home. So if you don't have enough, like if you don't have any proof to show that you will return to your country, that's another reason that you can get denied. And then the last one I was going to say is like failure to kind of explain your answer. So don't, like, when you go for the interview, like kind of prepare. Like you can even Google different questions that people have been asked before, or even YouTube. I'm pretty sure like YouTube has a ton of people who've talked about like their visa interview, process. So Google some questions that people have been asked, and when you talk, explain your answers as well to them. But yeah, so those were just some of the things that I have. I hope that this video is very helpful. And also, like, if you have any questions about navigating your F1 visa interview, put it in the description box below. But like I said, I did mine in Abuja, Nigeria. So it was 7 years ago, and then I now went to renew. I think after my 4th year, I went to renew. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, my name is Winnie Bush. Bye y'all.